you finally understand.
You do it my way.
Show me hands!
Don't go acting like you don't know what I'm talking about. I want you back. Love you.
I need another beer.
Welcome home.
As a youth, he faced adversity. As a man, he rose above it all. And as a king, he reigned supreme, making his mark on the sport.
Unbelievable knockout artist Tank Davis.
Decorated champion Tank Davis returns Saturday, July 27th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Showtime.
DraftKings and Showtime Sports are bringing fight fans closer to the action than ever before with our custom Showtime Boxing Pick'em game.
It doesn't get bigger than this for these two warriors.
For every Showtime Boxing event, you have the opportunity to compete for your share of $5,000 and a Showtime Boxing swag bag. Plus, a year-long competition to win a trip to every Showtime Championship boxing event in 2020.
When both of us get in the ring, you don't know what's going to happen.
Call it like you see it. Pick the fighters, the method of victory, and earn your shot to win money.
Oh, this fight is over!
Stop ducking and enter the ring. Go to DraftKings.com/Showtime now to play.
And you exert yourself in the gym, so when you're in a fight, it's easy. This is when you want to force yourself. You exert yourself here. You don't got to worry about it. If you get tired in the gym, it's when you're supposed to be tired. So you won't get tired in the fight.
When I signed with Floyd, it was like I was sparring every day.
Get the jab, Tank, get the jab!
Training non-stop. And then every person that he was signing at that time had to go through me.
Tank, point to the easy work. Point to the easy work.
Now, Floyd gave me a lot of advice. He still gives me advice as far as boxing. Make sure I'm training hard each and every day because no opponent need to be taken lightly.
It's my little killer right here. When your next fight, champ? You fight on my guy. What? He world champion. He was world champion in boxing. I'm there. Action, what's his record? What's your record? 17-9. Okay, there you go. You real. Oh, he official. Money team, baby.
A local boy looks to make good on Saturday night and make some Baltimore history. 79 years in the making when unbeaten rising star and junior lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis headlines a Showtime Championship Boxing triple header, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Saturday. Live coverage beginning on Showtime's social media platforms, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Welcome to Showtime Boxing's live coverage of the weigh-in. Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore is our backdrop. Brian Campbell alongside the Magic Man, two-division champion Paulie Malignaggi. The Hall of Famer Steve Harhood will join us in a second with fighter interviews on the stage. But Gervonta Davis defends that WBA title against Ricardo Nunez, the hard hitter. On Saturday will be the first time since 1940 that a Baltimore native will defend a world title in the Charm City. Paulie, we got to go back to Harry Jeffra in a featherweight world title match against Spider Armstrong. We weren't there. Steve Farhood may have been.
He might have been. Steve's seen a lot of the great fighters. But I'll have to defer to him for this one then.
A homecoming for sure for one of boxing's biggest stars, the big puncher, Gervonta Davis. Paulie, quickly, when you make that homecoming, you've been in Brooklyn many times in front of your home fans. What does that mean? How big is that?
Oh, it's exciting. You know, you dream as you're training and coming up the ladder in your hometown that one day you'll bring a championship back to your hometown and people will appreciate you for it and people will receive you with open arms and kind of give you that love, and so it's first of all it's exciting, but of course it can be a little bit of nerves as well.
Nothing but love in this building for Gervonta Davis. But before we can see what happens in the ring Saturday night, we're going to go up to the scales on the stage with another Hall of Famer. You might say the classiest of all Hall of Famers. It's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to the Royal Farms Arena here in Baltimore, Maryland, as Premier Boxing Champions presents the official weigh-in for our big night of boxing coming your way tomorrow night right here, and it's all brought to you by Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions, GTD Promotions, and Showtime, and we are sponsored by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. Wolfhounds, our opening attraction on Showtime is coming up, Showtime Championship Boxing. We're going to bring these fighters out first. They're featured lightweights in our 10 rounds of boxing special attraction. First, please welcome to the stage at this time from Panama. He weighed in, well, he's going to weigh in now, but his record stands at 23 wins and 2 losses, 9 of his wins coming by way of knockout. He's the former super featherweight champion of the world. Please welcome Jezreel El Invisible Corrales. And his opponent, we welcome to the stage at this time, originally from Memphis, Tennessee, now fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. His record, 19-1 with 6 knockouts. Please welcome Ladarius Memphis Miller. Let's dress quickly. Take the clothes off. And we're almost ready to bring our fighters to the scale at this time. Lightweight special attraction, scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Weight limit on this fight is 135 pounds. First to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome once again, joining us from Panama, the former world champion, Jezreel El Invisible Corrales. Corrales weighs in at 134 1/4 pounds, 134 1/4 pounds. And now his opponent up to the scale once again, originally from Memphis, now fighting out of Las Vegas, introducing Ladarius Memphis Miller. Ladarius Miller weighs in at 135.5 pounds, 135.5 pounds. It should be, I don't know if it's... Not yet, no, you will stay around, stay around.
Mirando hacia el frente, mirando hacia el frente, realmente hacia el frente.
Dile que el punto C, porque no la tiene que bajar.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, our opening attraction tomorrow night on Showtime Championship Boxing. Ladarius Memphis Miller versus Jezreel El Invisible Corrales. 10 rounds of boxing in a lightweight special attraction. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear from our fighters. We have my colleague and Hall of Famer, Steve Farhood, now to conduct our question and answers from both of our fighters.
Jezreel Corrales, Felix De Jesus will translate. It's been a while since you've been a world champion. Why should we believe that you're as good a fighter now as when you held the world title?
Hace un tiempecito de que eres campeón mundial. ¿Por qué ahora pensamos que tú sigues siendo calibre de campeón mundial?
Bueno, no es que lo piensen, es que si usted lo ve, que así sea, nuevamente.
It's not that what you're thinking, is that I am, and you'll see it.
How is he going to beat Ladarius Miller?
¿Cómo tú le vas a ganar a Ladarius Miller?
Yo vine preparado para pelear 12 asaltos. Le ganaré por decisión o por nocaut. Vine a pelear.
I came prepared to fight. I came to fight, be it 12 rounds or be it by the way of knockout.
And he says he's invisible, right?
Tú eres invisible.
Totalmente. Por eso uso la máscara.
Totally, that's why he uses the mask.
Que me vea ahora,
So is he really here right now? Is he really here?
Está aquí ahora mismo. Sí, sí, eres invisible.
Buena suerte.
I might not.
Buena suerte.
Panamá. Pai, no estoy.
Viva Panama. Ladarius Miller, you told us earlier today that you feel you're one fight away from fighting for a world title. That puts a lot of pressure on you for this fight, and this is a former world champion you're fighting. How do you go about beating him?
Man, there ain't no pressure at all. I'm used to fighting world champions. I'm used to this, man. I was born for this. This is what I do. You know, I come from nothing. When you come from nothing, you ain't worried about nobody in the ring. You ain't worried about that. You know, all that talking he doing is just good for the cameras. You know, it's good for it. So, you know, he could keep talking. I'm gonna do my talking in the ring tomorrow. We're gonna see who hit the canvas.
Last question. I asked him how he thinks he's going to beat you. How are you going to beat him?
I know how I'm gonna beat him. You know,
Tell us how.
You just gotta wait to see. You know, I can't give you everything. You know, you got to pay for something, baby.
No one's listening.
Nah, but you know, I feel like I'm the bigger, stronger fighter. And, you know, I'm gonna take care of business tomorrow. Everything starts with the jab.
We wish you luck and happy birthday, by the way.
Okay, thank you, man. I appreciate everybody. Man, I love Baltimore. I feel like I'm at home, so I appreciate y'all.
Baltimore loves you. Good luck, Darius.
All right, fans, here we go from the Royal Farms Arena here in Baltimore. Premier Boxing Champions presents our next official weigh-in. Lightweights in the ring, another special event. We're scheduled 10 rounds of boxing. Let's bring our fighters to the stage at this time. First, ladies and gentlemen, from Vega Baja, Puerto Rico. His record 30 wins, 3 losses, 3 draws, with 18 of his wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the former 3-time WBO super featherweight champion of the world, Roman Rocky Martinez. And now his opponent, fighting out of Miami by way of Guantanamo in Cuba. His record 29 wins, 2 losses, 17 of his wins coming by way of knockout. He's an Olympic gold medalist, the former unified featherweight champion of the world. Please welcome Yuriokis Gamboa. And now let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. This catchweight fight, lightweights, this bout is limited to 134 pounds, so the catch weight of 134. First, ladies and gentlemen, here is the 3-time super featherweight champion of the world. Once again, please welcome Roman Rocky Martinez. 133.5 pounds, 133.5 pounds for Rocky Martinez. And his opponent, the former unified WBA and IBF featherweight champion of the world, El Ciclón de Guantánamo. Here is Yuriokis Gamboa. $134.6 pounds, 134.6. Is that okay? You better tell him not to drink anything. His initial weight appears to be 0.6 pounds over, 0.6 pounds over the 134 contracted weight limit on this fight. We'll get back to you momentarily. And Gamboa is going to strip down, have a equipment change, stepping onto the scale again, trying to make that 134-pound weight limit. Gamboa still slightly over 134.5 pounds. We'll get back to you. He has a time limit to make that contracted weight of 134 pounds. And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lightweight special attraction. Yuriokis Gamboa, Roman Rocky Martinez. An outstanding 10-round lightweight special event. Once again, let's hear from our fighters. Once again, Steve Farhood, take it away.
Yuriorkis, again, Felix De Jesus will translate. Half a pound overweight. Is he going to try to make the weight?
Media libra más, ¿va a tratar de hacer el peso?
Sí, sí, claro. Una hora más para terminar, logramos lo que me falta.
I have another hour to go, so I'll definitely lose that half a pound.
What does he plan to do to lose the half pound?
¿Qué piensa hacer para perder esa media libra?
No, eso es secreto de nosotros. Eso es algo que hacemos el team.
That's something that the team does. It's our secret.
And did he know coming to the weigh-in that he would be overweight, or is this a surprise to him?
¿Esto fue una sorpresa que está sobrepeso o sabía que iba a estar media libra más?
No, no sabía que iba a estar media libra más. Entonces trabajamos y terminamos hoy en ese peso y empezamos a usarle el limón y bajar un poquito copiando, pero pensé que iba a estar listo ya.
Yeah. No, I definitely thought I was going to be the exact weight. We were just doing a couple of exercises this morning. Maybe that's why it's due, that extra half a pound, but I plan on losing it.
Go lose weight. Gracias. Rocky Martinez, the fact that the opponent did not make weight, does that affect him? In what way?
¿Cómo te afecta que el oponente no hizo el peso ahora mismo?
No, eso es disciplina, Yo hice 134, tiene que ser 134, eso es disciplina.
That's discipline. I made my weight with no problem. I mean, he didn't do it, so that's the problem with discipline, that he didn't make it.
You've been one of the grand warriors of boxing for a long time. He won his first world title 10 years ago. Is the point of this fight to get right back into a world title fight, should he be victorious?
Tú has sido un guerrero los últimos 10 años, ganando un título hace 10 años. Rocky, ¿eso es el plan, de ganar esta pelea y otra vez meterte en lo que es ese grupo de élite, boxeadores?
Sí, ahora mismo pues ganarle a Yuriorkis Gamboa pues, y seguir a optar a un título mundial 135 libras.
No, definitely. The plan is to beat Yuriorkis Gamboa tomorrow and then try for the 135-pound title.
Will we see the usual Rocky Martinez style, pressure, pressure, pressure?
Vamos a ver de lo que es usual de Rocky, presión, presión, presión.
Sí, mira, he hecho un campamento fuerte, como dije, yo voy a pelear, voy a inteligentemente, pero voy a ponerle presión. Yo estoy preparado para hacer 12 asaltos, son 10, que estoy ready para el primer asalto pelear hasta el último.
Had a great training camp, and if we have to fight 12 rounds, I'm ready to fight 12 rounds, and of course you're going to see the pressure, what's my, what I've always done in boxing.
Gracias.
Bien.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, two former world champions coming together tomorrow night in our co-main event, lightweights, 10 rounds of boxing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, Premier Boxing Champions presents the official weigh-in for our World Championship main event of the evening, brought to you by Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions, GTD Promotions, and Showtime. And we are sponsored by MGM Resorts and Brooklyn Boxing. And now let's bring our fighters to the stage. First, we welcome the challenger from Panama. With 19 knockouts in his 21 victories, he is ranked the WBA #2 world contender. Please welcome Ricardo Cientifico Núñez. And now his opponent, the defending world champion from Baltimore. He's the two-time 130-pound world champion, the current undefeated WBA super featherweight champion of the world, Gervonta "Tank" Davis. All right, fans, here we go. Let's bring our fighters to the scale. This is for the WBA Super Featherweight Championship of the World. Weight limit is a very strict 130 pounds. First, ladies and gentlemen, here is the challenger making his U.S. and Showtime debut and his first attempt at a world title. Please welcome the hard-hitting challenger, Ricardo Cientifico Núñez. 128 3/4 pounds, 128 3/4 pounds for the challenger. And now here is the young star of boxing making his hometown return. In his 5th world title appearance, here is boxing's pride of Charm City, the undefeated, hard-hitting, reigning WBA Super Featherweight Champion of the World, Gervonta "Tank" Davis. 129.5 pounds. We have a fight. Davis weighs in at 129.5 pounds. This is for the WBA Super Featherweight Championship of the World.
And they both stand. Watch them. Come on. Letting with the bell. Okay.
There they are. You don't want to miss this fight. The last time they face each other before they meet in the center of the ring tomorrow night for the main event, 12 rounds WBA Super Featherweight Championship of the World, Gervonta "Tank" Davis, Ricardo Cientifico Núñez. Once again, questions for both of our fighters. Take it away, Steve Farhood.
Okay, Ricardo. You have 19 knockouts and 21 wins, and you said you're going to knock Gervonta Davis out. How are you going to do it?
Tiene 21 victorias, 19 de ellas por vía de knockout. Tú dices que le va a ganar a Gervonta Davis. ¿Cómo que tú vas a hacer eso?
Pegándole.
Hitting him. That's how I'm going to do it, hitting him.
Everybody is going to be booing when he comes in. They're booing already now here. How does that affect him? Does that motivate him?
Todos te están abuchando aquí, te van a abuchar mañana. ¿Eso te afecta a ti como boxeador?
No, yo sé que la fiesta de Gervonta y vengo a hacer un buen show.
No, I know it's Gervonta Davis's party here in Baltimore, but I'm still going to put in a good show tomorrow.
Last thing, what does he have to say as a final word to the Baltimore fans?
Que es lo último que le tiene que decir, la última palabra que le tiene que decir a los fanáticos aquí de Baltimore.
Que vengo a hacer un gran show, una gran pelea, que es lo que quieren.
I'm going to come here, do a great fight, a great show. That's what you guys want. That's what I'm going to give you.
Thank you, Nunez. Good luck.
Okay.
Tank Davis, it looks like you can't stop smiling, huh?
Yeah, I'm in front of my beautiful people, so I'm excited.
You've had trouble in the past making 130. This is the third fight in a row you've made it on your first try. Was it easy? Was it difficult?
It was definitely easy, you know, just training back home amongst my brothers. I knew I had a big, you know, task in front of me. I'm in front of my family and friends and things like that, so I was on top of my game this go around.
So up until this point, what has this whole experience of fighting at home been like for you?
Just great, you know, just knowing that I'm in front of my fans, my friends, and things like that. It means a lot, so I've been pushing extra harder.
This is your last chance to speak to your fans, to all of Baltimore. What do you have to say to them?
Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate y'all. Tomorrow night we on.
Good luck, Tank.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you very much, Gervonta Davis. What an exciting homecoming this will be tomorrow night right here at the Royal Farms Arena. We're live on Showtime tomorrow night. That's our main event, 12 rounds, WBA Super Featherweight World Title. Of course, 2 outstanding lightweight special attractions opening up our show tomorrow night once again on Showtime. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Thank you very much for your attendance.
Well, the weights are under, and the wait, Paulie Malignaggi, is over. We have a main event Saturday night when Gervonta Davis defends that WBA title at 130 pounds against Ricardo Nunez. I'm Brian Campbell, along with the Magic Man. And Paulie, we talk about when you got a good, young, unbeaten fighter, a champion as maybe one of boxing's next future stars. But for Gervonta, there seems to be another level to that. What sort of separates him right now to the pack and what makes him special?
Well, you know, he's got an explosive power punching style. He's offensive, so he's willing. You know, a lot of times guys hit hard, but they're not always willing to go for it. You know, somebody like Vladimir Klitschko comes to mind. You know, but Gervonta hits hard, and he's also got an exciting style. He'll go for it. If he feels like he can take you out of there, he will take you out of there, and he won't waste time trying to do it either. You know, so I think that excites people. That gets people really looking forward to seeing a fighter like that, especially when he's young and they still see that he's got the possibility to develop because he's so young. So if he's already that good and he's that exciting, you know, the possibilities could be endless as far as how good and exciting he can be, you know, and that I think is one of the reasons why people look forward to seeing a guy like Gervonta Davis add into the mix of the push that he has behind him, you know, with Showtime pushing him, Floyd Mayweather pushing him, and so you've got that combination of things together where, you know, I think you have a potential star if things keep aligning right for him, and if, of course, most importantly, if Gervonta Davis stays disciplined and keeps doing the job.
Well, let's start right there. We'll see him in the ring Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Showtime. And for Gervonta Davis, the narrative heading into this camp, the homecoming fight, Baltimore, his home people, has been maturity, has been changes to his personal life, has been the birth of his daughter, Gervonta, excuse me, just 7.5 months. He's claimed becoming a father has softened him in all the right ways. How will that change anything, you think, heading into the ring?
Yeah, it's possible. You know, you might want to be more focused. You might want to be more, more in tune to the job you need to do, and that's what a lot of times fighters do when they wind up having some kids and seeing that there are different responsibilities aside from partying and hanging out and trying to just be a champion. You know, doesn't necessarily always mean that. You know, we've seen a lot of fighters have kids and still not change. So you know, you would like to think that, but Gervonta's already obviously undefeated, so he hasn't done anything wrong. Could he do some things better? Absolutely, but of course that's part of the learning curve, and he's a young fighter, and people look forward to watching him try to learn and try to get better.
Well, just 24 years old. He's talked about going deeper into the discipline, putting away some of the outside the ring troubles in the past behind him, getting serious, trying to bring hope to this community. But how about inside that ring on Saturday night? Mandatory challenger Ricardo Nunez. First fight in the U.S. But, Paul, when you talk about the stats, Ricardo Nunez on a 10-fight winning streak has knocked out 19 of the 21 wins he's had, has knocked out 16 of his last 17. I don't care what soil you're doing on, that has to matter.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of times these Central and South American fighters, there's a lot of unknown things about them. You know, you look at their opposition and you don't really recognize some names on there, but sometimes they come up here and end up becoming really dangerous. I remember guys like Ricardo Torres coming up here, Marcos Maidana even, you know, going to Germany and fighting Andres Kotelnik at first. And I remember when these guys were undefeated coming up into the difficult waters, people thought, you know, all right, they've beaten nobody. They're going to come, their record's blown up, but they wound up becoming really big punchers. And wound up making a name for themselves in the weight classes as well. So we'll see if Nunez is one of those guys. The difference with Nunez and the guys I just mentioned, though, is Nunez does have 2 losses. We were talking about earlier today with him and his team. One of the losses was by disqualification. So could that be a little bit controversial? Sure. But we'll find out tomorrow. You know, it's on paper, his record tells you he's a power puncher. Gervonta Davis, we know, is a power puncher. So if the recipes mix well, we could have an exciting fight. It may be short, but it could be exciting.
Well, Ricardo Nunez is nicknamed El Scientifico, yet you look at his history, he comes in there to bang. We know that. He comes in there for power. Paulie, we talked to him at the fighter meetings this morning. We said, look, given Gervonta Davis's power, if this becomes a war, you comfortable with that? He said, oh, yeah, I'm expecting a power war. I'm ready to stand in there with him. Is that smart strategy from your point of view?
Well, I don't know. You know, we're going to see just how real his power punching style is as well. You know, Nunez is very confident in his own power punching, you know, so I think they call him a scientifico, meaning you would think he's a technical, tactical fighter, right? But if he's ready for a shootout and he's confident in his power, he may be just as excited to get into a shootout in front of Gervonta's fans and let the crowd roar.
Well, one thing about Ricardo Nunez's confidence, it's all over the place. You can hear him in the interview, you heard him on the stage. He's not backing down from anything entering this fight. But we also have to consider who he's up against. You've heard those comparisons at times that Gervonta Davis may be the Mike Tyson, if you will, of the small weight classes, has that kind of fight-changing power. What Ricardo Nunez told us this morning ultimately is the problem with recent Gervonta Davis opponents is they're beaten mentally before they even step into that ring. He's saying, I'm not intimidated at all. For Gervonta, yet to really have that career-defining fight that sort of showed exactly every tool that's in the book. Get a confident guy like this and Ricardo Nunez, you could be in for something.
Yeah, well, he's saying the right things for sure. I think, you know, I think when you talked about the opposition of the Gervonta's had, you know, the only name that really sticks out to you is Jose Pedraza. You know, he had a terrific effort in taking the title away from Jose Pedraza, and he's really it was an explosive performance when he did that. And Pedraza obviously had the pedigree. But, you know, there was rumors that Pedraza had trouble making weight. As a matter of fact, Pedraza moved up in weight right after that fight. So you know, and actually I think he won a lightweight title after that as well. So the win looks good on Gervonta's record. But of course, we wonder how much Pedraza struggled at the weight. Nonetheless, Gervonta, you can't take away credit. He's exploded. He's won. He's looked impressive nonetheless. And you're just waiting for another guy that goes in there not intimidated, goes in there with his own feeling that his own reputation is also something that Gervonta should be fearful of, and not just the other way around. Yes, in that way, Nunez is right. Many opponents aren't coming with their own reputation, so they come in only fearing Gervonta's reputation. We don't really know Nunez's reputation, so could he be the same way, or is he talking in a way where he does feel confident in his own reputation? We'll find out tomorrow night.
Might be interesting to see if Nunez can push Gervonta Davis, if he can push him into deeper rounds. Look, sometimes you're a victim of your own success when you're blowing guys away early. And what Gervonta's trainer, Calvin Ford, has said this week is Gervonta can do a lot more than punch. He can really box at an extreme elite level, just hasn't been dragged into those deep waters. How much have you seen from Gervonta the idea of being that dual threat, of being a guy who can work out a game plan and outpoint you just as much as getting you out of there with the punch?
You know, he does have creativity. He does have the angles that he boxes at very well, and he does have a nice southpaw style. I do notice at times, though, even when he's boxing, he's trying too hard to land the big shot. So while his boxing can be really cerebral and can be really intelligent, at times, though, he still gets emotional, he still gets excited, and he still tries too hard to go for the big shot. And sometimes that doesn't go well for him, you know, or it doesn't make him look as impressive. I think Gervonta, if he uses the boxing skills he has and lets them just flow, I think it'll set up his power more thoroughly, and it also will make him look impressive every time. I think of the fight he had, I believe he was underneath Mayweather versus McGregor. I think the opponent was Fonseca, and he had ended up having to go the distance. It was a late knockout, but it was kind of a controversial knockout. You know, it was the referee kind of gave it to him.
Rabbit punch.
Yeah, something like that. I remember thinking, you know, he's trying too hard to be too impressive. And so I think with maturity, those things, you kind of learn those things. And I think his boxing skills can blossom a little bit better if he's forced to go rounds once he is a little bit more relaxed.
Well, like I said, you're seeing that maturity in Gervonta Davis this week, talking about the hope he's trying to bring to the youth of Baltimore, who maybe had a rough start like he did. Yeah, he got the key to the city from Baltimore Mayor Jack Young this week. And a lot of history in this building. This is where Sugar Ray Leonard made his pro debut in 1977. Baltimore also the home of the first African-American world champion in boxing history, Joe Gans. So Gervonta Davis trying to put his name in those same history books, but it's a triple-header Showtime Championship boxing on Saturday night. And Paulie, sometimes I like a little sloppy mix-up. And in this co-main event, this lightweight bout contracted 134 pounds. We have two former champions with big names, maybe in the second half of their careers. But I'm expecting excitement. Tell me if I'm wrong. When you're out there and you got Yuriorkis Gamboa against Roman Rocky Martinez.
Yeah, both guys have had solid careers, championship careers, and sometimes when guys are on the other end of their prime, they slow down just enough, but they still have enough desire where they realize that people realize they're slipping, so they have to kind of do double the work to remain relevant, because they know if they get knocked off, people are going to say, oh, they're done, they're finished. So you end up having guys who have slowed down just enough but want to fight just enough. So you end up getting an exciting fight, and guys that you were usually a little bit less hittable become a little bit more hittable, you know? So we'll see. We'll see if those guys, I think that from what I've seen of these two guys, they kind of look like they're at that part of their career. You know, they haven't looked as impressive as they were earlier in their careers, but they still have that name relevance, and they're still, which means you're always a good win away from possibly walking into a big fight or a big title shot, you know? We'll see, though, if the fight happens.
Gamboa's still got those quick hands.
Yeah, Gamboa has those quick hands, but he also has to lose that weight real quick, too, as he showed up a half a pound over or so. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, Martinez told us today he thinks Gamboa is a little chinny. He's going to put that pressure on starting about the third round. He thinks he can wear him out and get him out of there. We'll find out. But to open this triple header on Saturday night, Ladarius Miller, Memphis, coming in there, looking confident against former champion Jezreel Corrales, a lightweight bout. We've seen Corrales in the past on the title level, has looked good. No shortage of confidence coming in there against the young fighter Miller.
Yeah, he feels like he's gotten in there and has fought at the more elite level than Ladarius has. But at the same time, you know, it's a different clash of styles. You know, I think Miller comes in with a more solid base of a boxing style, while Corrales comes in with a more athletic base, a little bit more awkward, but nonetheless has been successful. I think one thing Miller can take confidence in is he has a win over Jamel Herring. Maybe Corrales doesn't feel like Miller has stepped up so much, but he has a win over Herring a couple of years ago, and Herring wound up becoming a world champion now of late. So suddenly Miller's resume looks a little bit more full than it did before, and so we'll see how it stacks up against Corrales' resume and style.
Well, we'll check it out in this triple header, Showtime Championship Boxing, Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But the action starts earlier. Showtime Championship Boxing Countdown on Showtime's Facebook and YouTube pages. That is a 6:30 p.m. start, 3:30 p.m. Pacific. A separate triple header of fights featuring some good-looking young prospects. Hey, I want to check out Malik Hawkins, the Baltimore product. Said he put a lot of rounds in there against one Gervonta Davis. He's hungry for a win. We will find out on Saturday night. For the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, I'm Brian Campbell. Thanks so much for joining us. It's Davis, it's Nunez for the 130-pound WBA title Saturday night on Showtime Championship Boxing. Thanks for joining us.
And you exert yourself in the gym, so when the fight is easy. This is when you want to force yourself. You exert yourself here. You don't got to worry about it. If you get tired in the gym, it's when you're supposed to be tired. So you won't get tired in the fight.
When I signed with Floyd, it was like I was sparring every day.
Get the jab, Tank, get the jab.
Training non-stop. And then every person that he was signing at that time had to go through me.
Tank, point to the easy work. Point to the easy work.
Floyd gave me a lot of advice. He still gives me advice as far as boxing. Make sure I'm training hard each and every day, because no opponent need to be taken lightly.
It's my little killer right here. When your next fight, champ? He fight on my guy. What? He world champion. The youngest world champion in boxing. I'm there. Ask him what's his record. What's your record? 17-9. Okay, there you go. You real. Oh, he official. Money team, baby.
DraftKings and Showtime Sports are bringing fight fans closer to the action than ever before with our custom Showtime Boxing Pick'em game.
It doesn't get bigger than this for these two warriors.
For every Showtime Boxing event, you have the opportunity to compete for your share of $5,000 and a Showtime Boxing swag bag, plus a year-long competition to win a trip to every Showtime Championship Boxing event in 2020.
When both of us get in the ring, you don't know what's going to happen.
Call it like you see it. Pick the fighters, the method of victory, and earn your shot to win money.
Oh, this fight is over!
Stop ducking and enter the ring. Go to DraftKings.com/Showtime now to play.
As a youth, he faced adversity. As a man, he rose above it all. And as a king, he reigned supreme, making his mark on the sport.
Unbelievable! unbelievable knockout artist Tank Davis.
Decorated champion Tank Davis returns Saturday, July 27th at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on Showtime.
I want you to help me take him down.
You finally understand.
We do it my way.
Show me hands.
Don't go acting like you don't know what I'm talking about. I want you back. Love you.
I need another beer.
Welcome home.